The college basketball experience preview and picks for Sunday, December 1st edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with that promo code TCESGPN to get a 50% deposit up to $1,000. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college hoops, college football, and NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM today. And welcome, everybody, into the college basketball experience. Part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Sunday, December the 1st. Where did Feast Week go? Where did November go? Here we are. December is here. Shout out to the chat rolling. We had a hell of a day. Dogs were barking early. Dogs were barking late. Unlike college football, dogs were not barking in that sport. But in college hoops, they were barking often and early. Let's talk about it. First off, though, I am Moneyline Mac, a.k.a. the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Also known as Mac Tonight over here at the College Experience. And joining me from the Big 12 Experience, you guys know this guy. Well, I mean, he's kind of fighting a family civil war, whatever town he wants to pick, whether it's in Stillwater, Waco, Fort Worth, out east in Orlando, up to Cincinnati, out west of Tucson. He is the Big 12 guru, a.k.a. the Green Mown, Weed Grown, Troy Tuning. What's up, Troy?
Big fan of the flag planting fights today. I know that's college football, not basketball here, but just saying, if you're the losing team and you don't get the fuck off the field, it's just you gotta watch them plant the flag. It's like it's like in hockey when you have to go out there and shake their hands and then you watch them. If like there'll be a couple of guys that just sit on the bench and watch the other team pick up the cup and everything. Like you just got to lose. You got to learn how to lose so that it hurts. And the next time you don't let it happen instead of going out there and being a bitch. I will say my early the Trident at Arizona Stadium by the Arizona State guys. That's my favorite because that one actually has like the Chief Osceola. Like you can jam that thing in there. Oh. Plant your flags in the chat. Everyone plant your flags.
Plant your flags in the chat. And if you want to prevent somebody, why don't you fucking do something about it when you get 60 minutes of football? Flags were being planted everywhere, whether it was in Columbus, Tucson. Who else do we have? Chapel Hill, Tallahassee. I mean, what else am I missing? It was everywhere.
Arizona State in Tucson at Arizona. Shoot.
I think that's it. I think I got all four. But I mean, if you don't want the flag planting, fucking do something about winning the damn game. So, but this is a college basketball show. Yeah, Texas did it a little bit. Rob Donaldson.
I was gonna say it wasn't a flag plant, but the Syracuse coach dropping the quote of the like, yeah, you go to Miami to vacation, but you don't come up here to vacation. You come up here to work. That was a good one. I like that. Great. Throw a little shade.
Shout out to Fran Brown. What a first year. And make sure you guys check out the College Football Experience going live right after us after the BYU Houston game, Hawaii, New Mexico, and Air Force San Diego State. But let's recap college basketball. But first, let's talk about ourselves. Because in honor of Thanksgiving just passed. We're giving away still a little bit of a merch sale. Get on over there, promo code Black Friday. That's right, 25% off, including this SGPN hat. College Experience right here, the camo, baby. Get on over there and get it today. All right, Troy, let's lead it off in the early window. Well, I said dogs were barking. And I locked up I locked up Southern against Louisiana Tech. Southern beats Louisiana Tech outright, hands them their first loss. Wow. What was your takeaway from this? I thought they would keep it close, but I didn't see them winning as a 15-point underdog outright.
I mean, this one seemed like it was a pretty good play to stay away from the money line, but feel pretty confident with the points. And of course, they win it on the money line. Didn't expect Jordan Johnson to kind of go off from the 3-point line like that. That was a pretty big performance from him for Southern.
Amen. I mean, shout out to the Jaguars getting it done. They got LSU on deck, so they'll travel over there. Next up, we had Sam Houston, Colgate. Sam Houston does not cover for Colby and I. They win by 4, 82-78. Sam Houston and Colgate finish up this MTE that they played 3 games, each team going 1-2. Let's get to the next one. Monmouth was 0-8 at the end of the day. They beat Seton Hall outright. They beat Seton Hall by fucking double digits. The Big East is a dumpster fire. The ACC is a dumpster fire too. Both leagues are dropping bye games left and right. But shout out to King Rice getting it done at Shaheen Holloway. This is a horrible loss for Seton Hall and a great win for Monmouth. Your takeaways, Troy.
This is just another horrible loss. Like this isn't Seton Hall's first horrible loss, right? Like Fordham and Hofstra are not looking too great, and throw Monmouth on there. Oh man. I know we'll probably talk about NJIT when we get to picking tomorrow's games, but you see that NJI team on the schedule. Typically you'd be thinking like, man, this could be a big response spot. I don't know if Seton Hall has that in them this year. I don't know if they got that any kind of grind to them.
No doubt. Yeah, the old "they're due" only applies if the team's actually somewhat worth the shit. So I don't know. Seton Hall, they got a lot of reflection because this is what the third bye game that they've dropped. They moved to 4-4 on the year. They dropped games to Hofstra. They got dropped games to Fordham. They've been a complete and total dumpster fire early on in the year. In the Big East, the Big East is going to be a 3-bid league. What's your takeaway on the Big East? I'm as down as ever on the Big East, and I love the Big East.
Well, I know what scares me about UConn is some early losses can probably help Hurley kind of get his message across, and I could still see them coming around, but they're definitely not as dominant as they have been, and right away that kind of pulls the league down a little bit. But let's see what the standing is right now.
What, on UConn?
Just in general in the Big East, Yeah,
so
DePaul's definitely looked better, but outside of that, you've got a reeling Villanova team, a reeling Seton Hall team. Creighton doesn't have Kalkbrenner. They were able to win today, but I don't know what's up with him.
How about Villanova?
Yeah, like I said, really reeling, not looking good at all. Really not sure. St. John's had some impressive games kind of early. Maybe they can pick up a little slack for the league, but definitely not the super scary Big East top teams that we've seen stacked there as we have in the past. I don't know. Everybody's kind of lost some luster. It's going to be like college football. Everything's a little bit more even.
Amazing. Portal, NIL. Now, I will say for the Big East, they do not have football, so that kind of handicaps them a little bit. They don't get that TV money year in and year out for the resources. It is a trickle-down effect. It's no coincidence the SEC is all of a sudden really good at basketball. They've been getting that trickle-down money from the SEC football for years and years. But yeah, Rob's talking about in the chat, the Big East slowly turning into the A-10 to a certain degree. I don't know if I go that. Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far just because they do have some bigger brands, but I do see the comparison to a certain degree. Let's go over to Campbell, Green Bay. Campbell wins outright at Green Bay. Doug Gottlieb was worried about the football slate, I guess. They dropped to 2-6 on the year. The Camels get it done. Vermont beats Northeastern. Northeastern backdoor city. I don't know how the fuck they covered that game, but they do. They lose by 4, 68-64. And then the first game out in Vegas, the 7th place game, Creighton salvages the final game against Notre Dame, 80-76. Neal goes for 21-9. Kalkbrenner did not play. Creighton's got Kansas on deck. Good win for Creighton, in my opinion. They had to get one out there. I don't care how they got it, but they got the win. Now they can move on to Kansas. But what was your takeaway from Kansas and Notre Dame and Creighton?
I mean, Notre Dame did a pretty good job of kind of hanging around, but you got to give props to Creighton with no Kalkbrenner and going out there and shooting 46% from the 3-point line and winning a pretty good early game or early season matchup. Definitely not a bye game. Notre Dame's a pretty solid basketball team, and to do it without, I would say the best player on the team is always a little bit encouraging. Maybe it'll show them they don't have to force play through him as much. You don't want to get into that full Zach Edey offense. You like to have him there to get you your second chance stuff and whatnot. But on days that he's not hot, you've got other 3-point shooters that you got to take advantage of.
Yeah, and I think I think Creighton they've taken lumps in the last 2 years in the non-con. So this is just a kind of a norm for them for whatever reason. They always get banged up. Kalkbrenner gets banged up for his back today. So maybe that's a trend that we need to monitor. I guess Kalkbrenner won't be back next year, but it seems to be the norm with Creighton. But hey, they find a way to win, and they move on. They got Kansas coming to the Omaha on Wednesday. That place will be absolutely jumping. And I think Creighton will give Kansas everything that they can handle. Let's get over to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech does win 87-68 against Central Arkansas. I don't know. They did not cover this line. I think it was 22-23. Wisconsin won 74-53 over Chicago State. They did not come close to covering. And then I want to shout out my guy Donnie Lynn at Mount St. Mary's getting it done over Howard, 79-75 on the road. The Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers, 5-2 year one in the NEC. Doing a good job out there, getting a road win. And then Long Island drops an overtime game to Binghamton. Did you get eyes on Long Island dropping a third straight game?
I didn't really get too many eyes on it. I was kind of scoreboard watching. This is a matchup. We love the Sharks. We love the golf course. So this is kind of our if there was ever a meetup for SGPN and chat and everyone to go to a basketball game, it should be something like Long Island Binghamton. And then all the players and stuff would be like, why the fuck are there 400 people just dressed up in the stupidest shirts ever screaming about the golf course and the fucking Sharks? I was going to say, kind of just scoreboard watching this one. Benson for Binghamton, he must have been driving the basketball pretty well, or maybe, just getting the ball in the low post somewhere pretty good. But 14 points from the free throw line is really going to help your stat line look pretty good. But besides that, I didn't bet this one. I didn't really have too much watching interest here other than maybe seeing, down the future when we're going to bet the fucking Sharks or the golf course, but not too many eyes on this. Yeah, they would make a killing at a beer sales if SGPN showed up to the fucking Long Island Sharks arena to watch Binghamton.
We may need to take a break from the Sharks. They all of a sudden they are reeling. So shout out to the chat. I know we do not have the same. We don't have Noah behind the scenes. Who knows where the LeBaird's at? Obviously, Colby's going to do the football show later, and Noah is somewhere about 75.
I was going to say, hopefully he's not driving that LeBaron because they could be in a crash pretty quickly right now for Noah.
Oh, fuck Ohio State. Those little pussies. They fucking drop another one. I hope Noah Bieniek's blacked out. I hope he's getting pepper sprayed. Just
planting flags, getting pepper sprayed everywhere.
Oh, dude, come on. If you're not doing that, what the fuck what are you doing? Michigan sweeping Ohio State on their home field as a 20-point dog. Absolutely fantastic. Take that $30 million fucking roster and shove it up your ass, Ohio State. That was just fucking awesome today. But yeah, no Bieniek, so I'll get to as much chat as I can, but I got to host shows as well. But shout out to Nick's BK718. Appreciate the fire pick, 7K, Southern, Monmouth, Notre Dame. That was a nice backdoor. Gulf Coast, Rice, Oregon, Cal Poly. That was a nice hit. So shout out to you, my friend, and congrats on the parlay win. Moving along in the recap portion, my Bobcats get it done. Cover for me. I locked this up 84-68. They're not as bad as their record. I keep saying that. Elon cover for me 69-63. Colby dragged me into USC upstate. They did not come close to covering against Coastal Carolina. They dropped that 73-51. And then we had Fort Wayne getting it done, pulling away on the road 77-57 against Commerce.
Awesome cover team right now, by the way. Purdue Fort Wayne is an awesome fucking team against the spread right now. Yeah, they have a pretty fucking good squad going up there.
And by the way, Troy, if you want to chime in on any of these games, just do so.
Yeah, I'll just jump in there. Anybody else can get.
Sometimes we deep dive on some of the dumbest shit over here at the College Experience. That's what makes the College Experience. Delaware beats Rider 72-66. I did not get many eyes on that. Bowling Green came through for us. Me and Colby locked this. They went outright 61-60 against New Mexico State in overtime in an MTE. Southern Miss, Curbello's out. I like Lockett. Give me Southern Miss to beat Milwaukee outright. They win at the buzzer. Addition by subtraction, no Curbello there. All right. Let's get
this one was hilarious.
Let's have a discussion about Miami. Miami, coming off a 3-game losing streak in Charleston, loses outright. And I locked Miami. I'm like, all right, Miami is good at the front runner bullshit spot. They're going to fucking kill Charleston Southern because that's what they do. They beat up on teams that suck. They lose outright to Charleston Southern, 83-79. Troy, you grew up in the Nova area, just like myself. We love Jimmy Larinaga.
Jimmy was our boy.
I think it's
I'd rather have Tony Skinn right now. I'd rather have Tony Skinn than Jim Larinaga right now.
I think it's time to shut it down, man.
It's got to be. The team looks like they have no fight. Like they just don't care that they're getting beat. It's the exact opposite of what we would see when he was at George Mason and some of the teams that made good runs for Miami was, we're down in this game. We still have to go out there and execute. We can get ourselves back in it. It doesn't seem like anybody on that Miami team believes it. And they might be right. They might believe that they're bad because they just are bad.
And it's weird for both of us, Troy, because yes, we hate Miami. So I love watching Miami suck ass. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I love watching them eat shit. But I love Jim Larinaga because I went to his camps growing up. I know you love Mason. It sucks to kind of see him going out the way he's going out. I mean, they're horrible. They're horrible. Nigel Pack didn't play today. Who knows what that was? The NIL, I mean, they got to a Final Four. They got to that crazy Final Four where Texas blew the 20-point lead. But I don't know. It kind of just seems like the time has passed Jim Larinaga.
I mean, that Drake loss stinks. And then 6 points to Oklahoma State, 7 points to VCU, 4 points to Charleston Southern.
They were dominated in that tournament, though. They got their they were down double digits. Like they played 120 minutes. They were literally down double digits in 100 out of those 120 minutes. They suck.
Yeah, they're not a great basketball team. And again, I don't know. Like I was saying on one of the pregame shows, it seems like the kind of year where they're so bad that Nigel Pack just gets to bomb up like 12 threes a game and they're going to lose a bunch of games. Besides that, I really don't know. It's not even like you can't even convince me this is a buy low spot for Jim Larinaga to get the guys back rolling. Like
no, today was a buy low spot and they lost to Charleston Southern.
It's even lower.
It wasn't like they went to Maui. They went to Charleston. That's like a freaking 45-minute private jet. They were back Sunday night after they got their ass beat 0-3 by 7 o'clock Eastern, having freaking dinner on Sunday night. They were. It wasn't like they had to travel.
The flight from Miami to Charleston is like it would. I don't know. Michael Irvin would do 4.5 lines. It would be like a 4-line length flight for him. Yeah, it's not. There's not even like a few excuses that you can look at, and it's bad. It's really bad. I do think you're right. I think it's time for them to if they're not going to move on from Jim Larinaga right now, they should at least be in contact with some people, maybe even behind his back, because if you get the chance at anybody, you can just pull that trigger. And again, Jim's getting old anyways. It's not like you're trying to hold on to him for another 7 years or something like that too, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's done a great job. It's not, we're not shooting down what he's done over the 15 years that he's been there. It's time for change there. It's ran its course, and it's over in Miami. So I'll tell you what's not over. That's Underdog Fantasy. Get on over there. Promo code TCESGPN from earlier this week, Wednesday through tomorrow. During Feast Week, we will feature profit boosts, discount tokens, give me picks, and much more. Get on over there. Sign up with our promo code TCESGPN. To claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. All righty, Troy. Let's dive back into a little recap here. Moving along, we talk Miami. They're terrible. Next up on the slate, we had a team that did take care of business. They did not cover. Marquette rolls 94-62. They moved to 8-0 on the year. I'm liking this Marquette team more and more. Indiana State 83-80 over Iona in a close game back and forth. Iona covers for us on a lock. They were getting 3.5 or 4 points. They lose by 3. Gets us over the finish line. Nichols, a.k.a. the Nazis and Hitler, get it done outright over Louisiana. So that another Nazi win for me and Colby. Dude, Nichols is not bad. What's your takeaway on Nichols so far this year?
Well, the whole Nazi thing, again, this is some of these schools should probably play into our little jokes that we do about them. Like if Long Island, again, had a fucking Sharks NIL shirt, we would all be buying it for them. They'd be going crazy. Again, I don't know how well you can market the Nazis, but there's got to be a way you can make some kind of money off of it, right?
Positive.
The Cincinnati game really scared me with this Nichols team because they just, didn't look like a basketball team at all. But as we've seen since then, I think Cincinnati's just really good. And it does seem like Nichols, Mississippi College is probably not the greatest comparison here, but to eke this one out, have that close win against North Kentucky earlier, they might be a team that, play spoiler a few times on some spreads. You can definitely see that.
Shout out to Nichols getting it done for us. This one, easily won. Wilmington gets their revenge against App State. They roll 76-61. Highlighted that was a revenge angle. So they get it done 76-61. Northridge wins in Bozeman at Montana State. Hell of a win for Northridge. Colby and I ate shit on this one. We took the home team with the Cali boys headed to Montana. They did not get it done. And Texas A&M, this depends on the number, wins 81-77. They blow a double-digit lead. They go down double digits. They win by 4. What's your takeaway on the Buzzsaw, man? The Buzzsaw sits at what? Through 8 games at 6-2, and adventurous 6-2.
Yeah, and that 10-point loss to Oregon doesn't really look that bad now. They just beat Alabama. First game of the year, that UCF loss, you can probably just forgive that based on it being the first game, right?
Yeah.
If you had to convince yourself as an A&M fan to throw that out, then, they've got to win over Ohio State, beat Creighton, go and beat Rutgers. Buzzsaw's, it might be maybe the issue is he was using like a battery-powered buzzsaw and had to switch up and get the one with the cord so it just doesn't die on him like at a certain point in time, because it seemed like there were always eggs that the buzzsaw would be rolling right through and then just like get jammed in the log. Maybe he switched to like a gas-powered one. Now that we're back, fossil fuels are back, so gas-powered buzzsaw.
Shout out to the chat. They said, just talking about A&M. They literally do this every game. They go up to they take a lead, then they give the lead up, then they come back, then they miss free throws, then they make free throws, and they win by 5 or 6. So I don't know what you take away from the buzzsaw. 6-2. It's a decent resume, but I can't trust them. I'm not going to lie to you. Like I'm not super impressed with them. I know they have a shitload of returning production, but I don't know. This jury's still out for me on them.
I do like sweaty coaches. I will say that. Like coaches that get like super sweaty, just feels like they're in the game more.
All right. Fair enough. LaSalle, speaking of sweaty coaches, Fran Dunphy gets his revenge on those rigged-ass Temple Owls, 83-75. They get it done. This is easy, man. This is one of my favorite plays of the day. They led wire to wire. That game was not as close as the final score. So give me LaSalle getting it done. 6-2 for my Explorers. Noah Bieniek shitting on my guy Fran Dunphy. Noah Bieniek, you're eating shit tonight. I know you're having a good time, but the Bonnies and LaSalle are pretty fucking good. Culture wins in college basketball. ETSU 79-57 over Austin Peay. We ate shit on this one. The Buccaneers, one of my SoCon darlings, pulls away and blows out Austin Peay by 22. UTSA over Houston Christian 78-71. I cover on Houston Christian. Georgetown. Troy, give me an analysis on Georgetown. They roll Albany set 100-68. What do you think of these Hoyas so far? They haven't played anybody.
I mean, looks better than when Patrick Ewing was up in there.
They
definitely haven't. They haven't played anybody, but a couple of these games were not necessarily Patrick Ewing would lose them, but like this would have been a 82-68 win at UAlbany, and you would have been thinking like, how are you not able to put these teams away? It seems like they're better. It might be super fool's gold, and I'm sure it is, but at least for now, it looks like things are going at least slightly uphill.
Things look to be going uphill. I agree with that.
They're definitely the best team that plays on that basketball court in Washington, D.C. because the Wizards just went 0-12 in the month of November. So
that don't take much either. We'll know more about the Hoyas when they go to Morgantown on Friday. That'll be their first test, and that'll be a hostile environment. So, and Brian C in the chat, hell yeah, baby, Mountaineers all day. Get this Georgetown shit out of here. I never lost to Georgetown when I was there, by the way. We beat the shit out of them when we played them. Corpus Christi rolls Prairie View 109-74. Did not bet this. Weber, I told you guys, Weber is getting better and better and better. 68-53, they roll Pepperdine. Blow this one open in the second half. Tarleton beats Hofstra 61-59. I mean, I was stunned by this. I didn't bet this just because it's a third game for both of these in an MT, but Tarleton's been awful. Terrible loss for Hofstra and Speedy Claxton. Lafayette wins 59-47 over Niagara. Colby wins that one. Penn over Maine 77-64. I told him that line fucking reeked. Penn finally pops up. He also took St. John's over Harvard, and I did not want any piece of that. St. John's went through the motions today. They went by 13 over Harvard. What's your takeaway on the Johnny so far through November?
This seemed kind of like a break spot for him, didn't it? Like when you look at their record, have that long overtime game against Baylor. I know Virginia's not the same Virginia right now, but it's still kind of a gritty, grindy game you have to go through. Yeah. Lose to Georgia. This just did seem kind of like a get your feet back under you, and maybe, I mean, there's a reason why it looked like they went through the motions. That was probably kind of the goal. Kansas State on deck. And now, of course, Kansas State on deck in the easiest bet of all time, no matter what the spread is. You have to lay it with St. John's because of old Lou passing away.
I did see that does suck. So
you notice that this one was moved to the Carnesecca Arena like a few months ago, and I guess that it popped up some questions because it was supposed to be at Madison Square Garden, and now it works out where they get to play a week after. Probably the best coach ever there. They'll get to kind of give him his honors and everything, and I hate to say it as a Big 12 guy, but this is going to be an emotional bet. You take St. John's against K-State.
Yeah, it does suck. Coach did a hell of a job there, and obviously he was there at games last year. So rest in peace, Coach, and obviously family there. can send our condolences, and was a big fan of him at St. John. So, but yeah, I mean, St. John's, it'll be a get-up spot against K-State. They did go through the motions today. Probably a little distracted by the news of Coach passing. So it'll. I saw Patino put a tweet out about him, so I'm sure they will honor him. And he lived a hell of a life, man. Lived a hell of a life. 91 years young, and won a shitload of
91,
basketball.
99, right?
I thought he was 91.
I think it's 99.
Yeah, I mean 91 or 99.
19.
I mean that's a fucking hell of a life.
Yeah, I mean when you get to that kind of number, the 8-year difference is only like 2% of your lifetime, so it's not that big of a difference. Yeah, 99, I think, because I saw 1926 or 1925 or something like that was his birth year. So yeah, almost 100 years. I wonder how he feels about OnlyFans. Like what is his take on the females of the world now just shaking it on camera for a few extra
I thought I
dollars?
heard something different, and then I realized what you said.
I wonder what Carnesecca thinks of OnlyFans and NIL.
Something tells me he's not a fan of it.
You don't think he's been to that website?
No, I don't think he's a fan of the modern day game and era. So
everybody loves ass.
Yeah, hey, everybody does love ass. I'm sure Patino has been there a time or two. Moving along here, St. John's gets it done 77-64, like we alluded to. How about my Vandals? 80-68 over Riverside. Dude, they won this game outright, wire to wire. Never in doubt. Utah squeaks by E-Dub. I should have locked the P-Dub. 88-80. Utah went through the motions today. Northern Kentucky rolled Bellarmine, a.k.a. Bellarmine, with Colby, 86-70. I ended up betting Northern Kentucky, so I won there. And then in the state of Florida, Troy, Gulf Coast outright over FAU as a 14-point dog, second straight year. How about that?
This is this Florida's version of Michigan, Ohio State? Like it doesn't matter. They find a way to beat them right now. They just got their number.
Yes.
I mean, was not expecting this one. Probably could have been convinced to take 14.5 or so at tip, but outright again, this would have been another one that I would have thought the spread number would have been less sweaty. But I'm being the smart guy, staying off the money line, not going to waste that. Straight up beat them again, and we got to remember next year. It's just a dumb system play, right? Just lay it. Just take the points, take the money line, whatever. Fuck it, FGCU every time over the house.
No doubt.
Who can't beat FGCU?
Can't beat FGCU, and sorry, I'm sweating out our Houston Cougars plus 12.5 against.
Yeah, I'm watching them about to score a touchdown here too.
Yes, fucking score, you fucking pricks.
Please, you dickbags.
Unlike your fucking basketball team, Siena gets it done outright over 71-58. I will take credit for this. Colby came along. This was a get-up spot for Jerry McNamara back in his hometown against Bucknell, against John Griffin. Good win for Siena. Bucknell's been a nice little darling of mine. Great win. They're 4-4 so far in the Jerry McNamara era. Troy, what's your thoughts on Jerry McNamara? I know you followed Syracuse growing up as well.
Definitely remember old Jerry playing some classic games. The Orange. I guess at the time they were still the Orange Men. I don't know if that'll make a comeback now for the next couple of years, possibly.
Hell yeah, it's coming back. The Orange Man dance.
At least they looked pretty nice against Bucknell after, reeling 4 straight losses. Obviously, you're not expecting to win that Xavier game that they schedule. Kind of hang with Jacksonville, which doesn't seem all that bad now. I don't know. Maybe, obviously, with first-year coach, it's going to take them a little while, but to see a response like that after 4 losses has got to be somewhat encouraging.
Yeah, I agree. They look well improved. I think they surpassed the win total. Let me look this up real quick. Last year the Saints were 4-28. This year 4-28, so they match it. Well done, Jerry McNamara. That's worthy potentially of a game ball at the end. Moving along. Fuck you, Kansas, you fucking pricks. They fucking blow out Furman. They hand them their first loss. I should not have bought Furman at an all-time high here. I thought maybe Kansas would sleepwalk through this game with Creighton on deck coming off the Duke game, but Self had those guys ready. Kansas has gotten a lot better over the last 2 to 3 weeks. They're kind of starting to find their identity, I think, especially defensively. Troy, we host a Big 12 show together. What's your take on these Jayhawks? They're the best team. They're the best team from what I've seen.
And usually the issue is KJ Adams he kind of looks like he's not quite fully coordinated sometimes. Yeah. He's got a couple of turnovers, a couple of what looks like they should be easy shots or putbacks that don't go down. And then today he goes 10 of 12 and looks like the kind of guy that could play that like Wayne Selden style extra scorer that just really makes Kansas too tough to beat if he's going to play like that. They're definitely a scary team, and Bill Self knows what he's doing, and Hunter Dickinson's a college hero that's going to suck at the next level, but got to take advantage of him now when you're watching Kansas, all those rebound props for Hunter Dickinson. Crushed today, though, only 6 of them.
Noah loves Dick.
Yeah, that's
Hunter
true.
Shout out to
I like sweaty coaches. Noah loves Dick. Yeah. We just all doing stuff.
We love Kansas. Noah loves Dick, and that's the analysis from this game. Drake beats Georgia Southern 61-47. Georgia Southern lock for me, plus 14.5. Hell of a cover. Thank you, everybody. By the hook. Sleepy spot for Drake coming off that Charleston trip. Lehigh gets it done. I locked this up 74-69. I told Colby this fucking reeked. Great win for Lehigh over Marist. Marist had been rolling prior to this. All right, here's the fucking stunner of the night. If you're a college basketball junkie like ourselves, you know how good Toledo is at home. Toledo gets beat by Oakland
Smoked.
At home. 85-52, and it was a 40-point game. I have no words. I actually bet Toledo in this game, so I'm glad that they got beat like this, so I didn't have to fucking watch anymore.
This counts as no sweat too, right?
Yeah. Oh, no sweat taking up the ass, basically.
What'd you get it at? 8.5 or something?
I actually got it at 7. I got some nice CLV there, and then I got beat by 79,000 points.
God. Definitely an unexpected result here. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I wasn't looking at the box score of this one, I don't know if I would believe that it was an 85-52 game.
Dude, Oakland had lost 4 straight coming into this. Lost to Eastern Michigan. I wasn't going to take Oakland again until January just because that's what Campy does. This may have been the most surprising college basketball score of the season so far. For Oakland, with the newcomers and how bad they've looked to go into Toledo and win by 35. I couldn't see this.
Is this season-changing win level for Oakland?
Probably got to fade them next game. I mean,
yeah.
This one is an 8-point dog by 35. That's a 40-point differential there. Yeah, they're a fade for me next game. You know how I think. But shout out to Oakland. I mean, that's a hell of a win. We know the culture there, and they just rolled them. The hospital on the money line gets it done for me and Colby at Eastern Michigan. Get this Eastern Michigan bullshit out of here. Dude, Detroit is now sitting at 4-5. That is 4 times the win total of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they start league play Thursday against Detroit or against Fort Wayne. The hospital's
back.
Bro, where do you think they are in the horizon? I think they're middle of the pack from what I've seen.
I mean, they don't look like a completely incompetent basketball team. Yes. Every now and then they do, but it's not as consistent as it was last year. Yeah, I'm interested to see if they're at that, like, are they at that Wright State level? Are they at that Cleveland State level?
Cleveland State, potentially. Wright State, I don't know.
Are they in between the two? Is that kind of what you're thinking right now?
Let me take a look at this old Horizon League a little bit more. I think Fort Wayne is definitely the best team here. And then I think Milwaukee is probably right there as well. Northern Kentucky, is going to be good. Wright State and Oakland have good cultures. And then I think you throw Detroit in there with Cleveland State,
Yeah.
Robert Morris, and Youngstown and Green Bay. I think those teams are kind of a clump. And then IU, Indy, IUPUI is at the bottom.
Sounds about right.
I think it finish 6. I don't think that's too far-fetched.
Yeah, what a response to last year that would be.
Yeah, especially for Montgomery, year number 1, trying to get the culture intact. So I definitely
that would be awesome if they finish 6th in their league. Everybody on SGPN, both hosts, co-host, chat, everyone's going to be rich as fuck if the hospital finished 6th.
Well, and Rob makes a good point. They could be a cash cow, just like Chicago State was last year, because they're just going to keep receiving those numbers that are ridiculous all year long. Speaking of,
should we bet the hospital to win that conference?
Stay tuned. I got to take a look at the odds.
Gotta look out for the cafeteria food, man. They just dump soup on you.
Hey, so I finally get lost on UConn. I've been fading UConn for like 5 straight games. They never came close to covering. They finally covered against Maryland Eastern Shore. Congrats, UConn fans. Why don't you fucking raise another banner? I didn't learn anything from this game tonight. They got Baylor next. We'll see how they do up north against Baylor. I know they've been really good traditionally at home, but Baylor has a better roster, so we'll preview that game later this week. But what's your takeaway from UConn just getting drilled in Maui this week?
Kind of what I was talking about earlier. It scares me way further down the line of the season that this could be something that they Hurley can build on pretty well. Maybe convince the guys like, hey, you're not that good. And if you don't play the system that I want, then we're not going to be able to win at the rate that we would like to. But you know that all of these big name matchups always come down to that big time player making a play. And UConn, they're going to need somebody to step up and be that A1 guy. I think the matchup with Baylor is pretty interesting too, because I don't know if Baylor has decided who their A1 dude is as well. So two teams kind of figuring out how to compete with a different roster. Yeah, I don't think either one has really, gotten their identity really even narrowed down that much, to be honest.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Wright State beats Air Force 70-57. I lost on Air Force. Georgia fucking rolls Jacksonville. 102-56. How good is Georgia, man? I mean, what's Georgia's record? They're 7-1. Their only losses to Marquette. They beat St. John's. They won on the road at Georgia Tech. I know Georgia Tech's not that good, but it's still a road win. I mean, dude, I kind of think Georgia might be an NCAA tournament team.
It's almost already time to admit that the SEC might be the best basketball conference this year, right?
Yeah, I think they are. As much as I hate
it sure looks like it. And of course, I'm not, I'm an SEC hater. So if you hear me saying that, then you can take it with the opposite of a grain of salt. Yeah, Georgia.
They look good.
They look like a team that's going to get their way into the tournament. I don't know, 9-10 seed or something like that, because the SEC is going to be kind of tough. But yeah. We'll see if they switch up this year on the beating the shit out of the bad teams, helping out your ratings so much that they just decide, this SEC league was so good, we got to put a bunch of these teams in, which I don't hate personally.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely looked the part. Mike White, year number 4 here, or year number 3. So pulling for Mike White down there. He beats Jordan Mincy, his former assistant. Colby and I hit on Rice over Arkansas State, 75-67. A nice little win for Rob Lanier. They're kind of way better than everybody thought. 6-2 on the young year. Arkansas State's one of the premier teams in the Sun Belt, so good win for the Rice guys. And then let's get to it, man. Bro, Houston's the middle of the pack Big 12 team this year. They overachieved last year. They don't have Jamal Shed anymore. They lose outright to San Diego State.
At one point in time, how big was their lead? I know I saw it at 10 at least.
10 or 12, but they can't score. They go through these droughts. So,
well, they kind of did that last year too. And the only time that they had a drought ender was like Jamal Shed forcing himself to get to the free throw line or, actually finishing by the cup. Yeah. The early part of the game, it looked like Emmanuel Sharp was trying to do that a little bit. I mean, he got to the free throw line, but I don't as a Baylor fan, LJ Cryer taking 13 3-point shots seems like a little too much, right?
Dude, they just miss Shed. They miss Shed like crazy, man.
5 of 13 is not like a horrible number or anything like that for LJ Cryer, but it just feels like on some of those possessions, you'd be better off letting him take 8 or 9 threes.
Yeah.
It's just, again, nobody wants to step up and be that A1 guy, and it's probably going to have to be Emmanuel Sharp, but I don't know.
I don't know if he's that guy, though.
I was going to say, it's you can't even compare him to Shed in terms of that. It's going to be, they would be looking for, like, Javon Small at Oklahoma State last year would probably be good enough to take over for some of these guys. The culture is going to help a little bit, and Kelvin Sampson's a good coach, but they're not that team.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. We're not saying they're going to miss the NCAA tournament. They're going to win 23, 24 games, but they're not going to be at that 29, 30 wins this year like they've been at. So I think that they're going to be around 500 in the Big 12 with the gauntlet of the schedule and the travel. All the close games that they won last year is going to come crashing down here, and I think that they're going to be around 500 this year. So still like them. Still think that they got a good culture. I don't like what I've seen so far. They can't score. They go through droughts. The only thing I like about them is they have Kelvin Sampson, and they guard their tails off. Kent State gets it done for me, 67-60 over Kennesaw. They win 2 out of 3. Pacific wins 64-55 over Fullerton. Fullerton continues to suck. Western Kentucky 90-82 over Marshall. Pulls away, covers. Mercyhurst outright over Sac State. Easy call. After Sac State won as a dog on the road. You got to fade these teams when they win as a dog on the road. Then they come back home laying points. Portland State over Duke State.
Mercyhurst. I was going to say also Mercyhurst. Shout out to Bernie Blunt, one of the best names in all of college basketball. I also Bernie Blunt's myself, so we need to get on that guy's NIL shit too. Bernie Blunt is an unbelievable name.
Bernie Blunt, baby. Bernie Blunt. What game was I on? Portland State over Dixie, 71-68. They get it done. Lipscomb fucking drills Alabama A&M 82-44, doubles them up basically. Abilene 71-55 over Omaha. Southern Utah 74-64 over Bakersfield. SEMO controlled this game. They're up 20 at half. They beat UMKC. Colby and I eat shit on this one. And the game of the night, Oregon. Dude, the Ducks, 12-0 in football, 8-0 in basketball. This Big Ten is treating them nice here. They beat Alabama. They go 3-0 in Vegas. They beat A&M. They beat San Diego State. They beat Alabama. What a fucking weekend for Dana Altman and company.
He's a really good basketball coach. There's no way around it. I know, it's kind of the same thing we see in football where the teams out west just don't get as many eyes. And Dana Altman kind of deserves it. He should probably be getting significantly more flowers than he does. Bartholomew off the fucking bench was fucking flames, though, man. He did 22 points on 11 field goal attempts. How much better can you ask for a seventh guy and the sixth guy in the rotation to come in and just take over for a little bit? You just see a little bit too many mistakes from the Nate Oates team. He wants them to pull the trigger, but again, there's sometimes they had a lead there at the end and they didn't. You probably want to use a lot more of the shot clock, even if you're not going to score. You just got to be able to adjust. There's not you can't sit with a style and just die with it too. You've got to have a little bit of adjustment coming, but Oregon hot, starting off great.
Yeah. I mean, great win for Oregon, getting it done over Alabama. Like I said, 8-0. They're an NCAA tournament team. They're a Big Ten contender. Irvine, Towson. Irvine goes 3-0. Towson goes 0-3, but Towson fought their asses off. Easy cover for me on 9.5. Never in doubt. They had a lead with 4 minutes left, but Irvine continues to fucking win game after game after game. They got Bakersfield on Thursday, their first league game. What do you think of these Anteaters, man?
I mean, this is another team that's the opportunity of the cash cow, and also kind of one of the gatekeepers when it comes to comparing spreads and being like, if this was a UC Irvine team, I would definitely take them here, but I'm not sure about blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Bakersfield, go on the road to Oregon State. That could be a big one. Anteaters kind of throwing their name in there in the Big West, huh?
Yeah.
Some of these games are impressive. I mean,
they're the clear favorite. Rob's saying they're going to get 32-0. I don't know about 32-0, but they're fucking good.
Holding Kent State to 39 points is pretty funny. You got to give them a shout out for that. Not that Kent State's good, but 39 points in a college basketball game. Woof.
Yeah, man. They guard. They have size. They have athleticism. They're well coached with Ross Turner. He's been to an NCAA tournament. He's won a game. They're rolling. They are absolutely rolling.
They could also be, I mean, with a mascot like the Anteaters, that's got to put you in contention for like first round NCAA tournament upset if you're able to make it there. There's plenty of people that pick their brackets based on mascot, and they still do better than most of us. So, got to look out when you've got a mascot like the Anteaters.
Indeed. Yeah, I love the Anteaters. Next up, how did BYU get the ball back? Did Houston turn it over?
I think. Did they go for it on 4th down?
You fucking bastards. They're going to not cover. This is how my day's going. All these dogs are just ate shit.
For a second there, I was going to ask if Dion had dropped some money off to Houston in the middle of the game
Yeah, that's why I was starting to buy into
They got that 2-point conversion. I was like, oh my God, they're going to win this game 25-24, so Dion can slide in there.
I was like, this is corruption. Dion's going to get in there. Arizona State, Colorado, but it looks like it's going to be Iowa State, Arizona State coming down the wire. Speaking of cash cow, Cal Poly outright to keep the 15.5. They just went outright at Stanford. Mike DeGeorge doing a job out there.
Told you about this guy on the very first opening night pregame show that Mike DeGeorge was coming in to change that entire culture, and they were going to run. It's the Nate Oates mini out here, and man, 100% a cash cow for us, Cal Poly.
God.
Again, can't even tout that I laid the money line on this one. I did take the points, but man, 63 points in the second half. Cal Poly can score the basketball, and there's going to be a lot of spreads where they get a little too disrespected, I think, here, even over the next few weeks.
Yeah, so they moved to 5-4. They only won 3 games all last year. They have wins over Stanford, EW, Seattle, Grambling, who's been good. And they cover against St. Mary's, cover against Arizona State. They've covered like every game other than the Cal game too, where Cal fucking backdoored it. So if you've just been betting Cal Poly all year, you are having a hell of a year. Shout out to the Mustangs. And then in the finale, Oregon State drills UC Davis. Dude, Oregon State's not bad. I've actually been impressed by the Beavers this year under Wayne Tinkle. 5-2, and they've looked the part. Their only losses are to Oregon, who's 8-0 by 3, and North Texas, who's good by 3. So 2 losses by 6 points against 2 quality teams.
Yeah, and a 76-48 win over Weber State probably deserves a little bit more eyes on it too, because Weber State is playing pretty good ball as well. Yeah, Oregon State is. Is this the team that screws over the -300 Gonzaga to win the conference? Since they're
I don't know if I go that far.
is this the one? Is this how they get there? Vegas gets all their money back, huh? Yeah, no, they look pretty good right now. We'll get to see. They get UC Irvine like we just talked about.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
that could be
next Saturday.
I mean, they get Idaho, so they get Vandals.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. We got to see how they do against San Francisco, but sadly that's on the road after a Gonzaga game. But that one's interesting to me. The Dons taking on Oregon State, with Oregon State looking pretty good, and we think the Dons are a pretty solid team.
Yeah.
Definitely impressed. Got to say impressed with the Beavers for sure.
Dude, I mean, if anything, it's one of the best early season stories that they are playing as well as they are. So shout out to the Beavs. And that'll do it. Real quick, let's pay the bills before we give out some game balls and look ahead to Sunday, because we are brought to you by MyBookie. Get on over there. MyBookie is back, bigger, better than ever. Improved website, great on mobile, plus every game and the live dealer with casino. I did like Hawaii, I liked Houston plus 12.5. We'll see if they stand pat here on the goal line. So get on over there. Tons of action over at the NFL. To MyBookie, baby, and get on over there. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. $10 casino chip over there. MyBookie promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get your Rhythm model built today. All right, Troy, game balls.
Well,
game ball number one. You are the guest. Fire away on one.
Got to give one to our favorite chat team, right? The hospital.
Detroit
Mercy.
Yeah.
The hospital. I mean, matching the season win total already, winning outright in that game.
Yep.
I think they deserve a game ball.
I agree. Game ball number 2 for me, Oregon, 8-0, 3-0 in Vegas. They're rolling. Dana Altman doing a hell of a job. Everybody slept on him. That guy can flat out coach.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn between two, and I don't know if you're going to give Cal Poly a game ball or not. Because I kind of want to give Charleston Southern one. I mean, 1-7 going in and beating Miami. I think we got to give Charleston Southern a game ball.
Absolutely. They won 24-point underdogs out of the Big South. So good game ball. I took Cal Poly as my next one.
Perfect.
They are continuing to roll. They went out right at Stanford. The Mustangs continue to roll. So shout out to them. Game ball number 3 for you.
All right. We've got – sometimes I like to give game balls to losing teams. But
there's plenty of winners.
Probably Oakland then, to win the game the way they did.
Yes.
Got to give a game ball to Oakland, right?
That's a game ball. And you know what else is a game ball? The first game of the day, Southern. Southern goes to Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech was undefeated, 7-0, just won 3 games in Daytona. Southern beats them out right on their home floor. Shout out to Southern, the Jaguars. They get a game ball. Honorable mention, Monmouth should be a game ball contender as well. They won at Seton Hall.
Monmouth should be an honorable mention. I think Lipscomb should probably be an honorable mention here.
Yep.
Just looking that impressive is always nice.
Liam in the chat, Gulf Coast. I mean, dude, there's so many. This is one of those nights you definitely don't give to a moral victory, because there's so many teams that won outright as a dog. So shout out to everybody that won as a dog today. Love it. And baby, Houston and the Mormons are getting into a fist fight. So little dust up. You love to see it.
Chopped and screwed.
Kalani Sitake would fuck some dudes up. All right, let's get to the picks for tomorrow. 1:30 a.m. Let's go over to Sunday, December 1st. If you guys see a line for LIU and Niagara, please let me know, because I do not see a line for LIU and Niagara.
Me either.
So check the picks page. Both teams struggling here. Alcorn taking on Maryland here in the early window. Maryland is laying 31.5. This game blows ass.
Yeah, this is a gross game. Maryland smacks them here, though.
I mean, yeah, they're 31-point favorites. I don't have a bet here. I'm not. It's not. Thank God, it's not a standalone game. I mean, what's Alcorn? Alcorn's off of South Alabama overtime loss. I'll lay with Maryland. They're going to kill them.
Yeah, I'm laying this with Maryland. This is actually a bet that I'm going to make. I would call this a lock.
All right. Locking up the Maryland Terrapins. Troy Tuning.
Yeah. Alcorn State's just really bad.
They do have a league game on deck. I ain't betting this one. All right. Next up on the slate, we got NJIT coming off their first win. Traveling to UMass. UMass is laying 16.5. I'll lay it. I kind of think UMass. I'm tempted to bet UMass. That number that big for a 2-5 team. I think they're gonna fucking drill them. UMass is gonna be a lock for me tomorrow. I'll lay the big number here.
Yeah, NJIT can't score enough. I'll lay the big number too. It looks like it opened at 18.5 and it's down to 16.5 now.
Yeah, fade that one.
I'll fade that. I'll lay this one too. I'll probably bet this.
All right, let's lay some more chalk. UMass, Frank Martin, Minutemen. Lock it up. Next up on the slate, we got UMass Lowell taking on Central Connecticut, the Blue Devils. Lowell is laying 3.5 on the road. Lowell looked good the other night at St. Louis. I kind of want to lay it with Lowell. I think they're the much better team here.
The only thing that I had written down in my notebook on this one is this one seems like a really, really close game and that you should just kind of take the points. But Lowell has looked pretty good. You could probably talk me into laying this one instead of just like blindly taking the points because I think it's a 1 or 2 point game. But I'm probably not betting this one. I won't say the word either because we're on the main show and it'll probably get flagged by Sean and Kramer and they'll get all mad. If you've noticed, I haven't been using my styrofoam cups. Just, don't want to draw too much attention to the LEAN.
This line kind of stinks. Norfolk going up to Stony Brook. Norfolk is laying. Oh yeah, he missed
5.5.
He missed a 2-point conversion. How about
12.
Houston? Oh yeah,
12.
Give me Houston plus 12.5. Come on, don't fumble, you fucking pricks. I've been getting bad beaten all day in this stupid college football sport. I need to stick to college basketball. Give me Stony Brook. I think Stony Brook's going to win the game outright. I think this line reeks. I think Stony Brook back at home loses to 4 straight after playing 2 road games. Give me Stony Brook. I'm going to bet this one. This is Norfolk should not be laying 5.5 on the road. Where are you going here, Troy?
I initially wanted to lay it because I don't think Stony Brook can score enough to keep it within this number. But I was thinking this would be like an 8.5 instead of 5.5. I would think that Norfolk State would be favored.
Sunday home game. Let's go.
Yeah. And, this is a good name matchup because Stony Brook is obviously it's fun to smoke a little bit by the brook. And we know Norfolk State has the we don't drink, we don't smoke, nor fuck chant. One of the best chants in all of sports. I think I'm going to lay this.
Shout out to Noah Bieniek.
I'll battle you on this one.
All right. Oh, lock battle. Let's go. Lock battle here. Let's go.
I just think they match up well against Stony Brook. I know it's a good spot for Stony Brook, but
this is the lock battle music tonight. Take you into space here. Troy Tuning on the Norfolk State Spartans. I'm going to smoke that. Lock them out up there. Give me the Stony Brook Seawolves.
This is hilarious music.
Oh, it's great. I don't even know why that's on the soundboard. It's so fucking bad. Next up here on the slate.
Yeah, lo-fi late night chill. We're just chill guys, so
Yeah.
Lock battle doesn't make us mad at each other because we're just chill guys.
Rob says it wants to make him take acid. Yes, I encourage everybody to take some acid. Builds character. Asheville taking on Tennessee State. This game, where's this game at? This is where I need to know first, real quick. Is this game in Nashville?
It's in Nashville, yeah.
Yeah, I will lock up Asheville. Mike Morrell, I think they're the better team here. Off the loss earlier in the week to Central Arkansas. Give me the Bulldogs here to win in Tennessee State. I love fading Tennessee State. Sorry, I can't talk right now.
Yeah, and Asheville opened as 1.5-point favorites, and it flipped to Tennessee State 1.5 real quick.
It's the ultimate fade. It's the ultimate fade. Flip through 0. Oh, there we go.
I will take the Bulldogs.
Double lock on the Bulldogs.
Double lock on the Bulldogs. Woo, 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 woo.
Next up, we got New Hampshire going to Fordham. Fordham laying 14.5. This line seems huge. Give me the points. I'm not like fucking 14.5 with Fordham.
I wanted to be talked out of not laying points with Fordham here, so
dude,
I'll be convinced to take the points.
Okay.
Jesus
I don't want Christ. Fucking Houston fumbled. What's wrong with this team?
Luckily, they don't have any timeouts.
Yeah, just fucking kneel out the clock. What game was that? It was fucking Louisiana Monroe and the fucker running in fucking jackass. Oh, my God. All right, Radford, St. Francis. Radford's laying 5.5 here, Troy.
I'm hammering this.
Oof. I think this is a sleepy spot, man. They're off Cancun on the road. I actually think this is a St. Francis spot. I actually want to bet St. Francis, and I love Radford. You know that.
It's almost time to start giving Radford credit for their program, though, right? Like they have a pretty fucking good culture and program there at Radford.
They win by 4.
You think they barely cover? I'll lay it. We can't agree too much. I'll lay it against you.
All right, I'll lock up St. Francis. Brutal spot here. Brutal spot. Fade the spot off the Cancun challenge win, beating Mastodons. Give me St. Francis. Keep it within the number here. Next up,
Clark could have convinced me with telling me earlier that they have a big white left-handed guy that can shoot. Nothing you like better.
Big white lefties. Noah, I see you in the chat. How about Iona? Iona's playing Rice tomorrow. Iona lost by 3 today. Rice beats.
Is there a line on this?
Yeah, Rice is laying 3.5. I like Iona. I actually want to lock Iona.
Dang.
I think this is a great fade spot of Rice. Iona is not as bad as their 2-5 record. They've actually been competitive in this event. They drilled Tarleton. They lost a close one today to Indiana State. I think they get even here, 2-1.
I mean, it does seem like playing Vermont, West Virginia probably gives you a little bit more experience in some tougher games. That Hofstra loss looks weird for Rice now, huh?
Yes.
I mean, I guess with that low of a number, it is pretty stinky. But I would lay this.
All right. I'll fly solo. Doesn't sound like you want to lock it up.
Yeah, this is not a bet.
Give me Tobin Anderson.
You can go diving in it, baby.
This line's fucking awful. Pine Bluff going to K-State. K-State's laying 34.
This is a slap spot, I think.
It should be, but K-State sucks. I'll lay it. Pine Bluff's awful.
Yeah, Pine Bluff's pretty bad. This is a slap spot. I'll lay it with K-State.
Is this where they make their NIL money by covering against Pine Bluff?
They just, after all the non-covers, the boosters decide to 6x their units and make it all back in one game. Possibly.
No bet for me here. This is the one Big 12 team I don't want to lay the number with. Buffalo's going to Penn State. Penn State's laying 28.5.
Penn State can actually score this year, though.
Should we bet Penn State?
I'm going to bet Penn State.
I think this line, and I'm with you. I'm actually going to join you on the Maryland one. I think you're right. I think the lines are telling you this is a nice lay spot. Nice little Sunday brunch drill spot here. I think everybody's going to run.
Coming off that Clemson loss.
I think everybody wants to bet Buffalo because they're a brand name. They remember the Nate Oates days, the Bobby Hurley days. They're 4-3, but they're not really 4-3. They played a shit schedule here. I think Penn State opens it up. I think you're on the right side here, and I'll join you. Penn State off the Clemson loss as well, their first loss of the year. And you're right. They play an up-tempo with Ace Baldwin and company. This is VCU, but at Penn State. Let's go. Penn State, lock it up.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put this one together with Maryland to cover too, in a little two-way do-si-do.
I think you're on the right side in both. I like when you see a team like Maryland and Penn State laying those big numbers, and it's just like what? But then you kind of dig into it. It's the right side. Let's go. Penn State, lay it. Next up, we got Fair Dick. Everybody loves some Fair Dick. Noah Bieniek. Fair Dick taking on Fairfield, the greatest school in Connecticut, as Colby would say. Fairfield's laying 6.5 here.
I don't think Fair Dick can score enough to keep it within this number.
They played last year. Ooh, Fairfield beat them by 23. They beat them by 18 the year before. Give me Fair Dick. Give me Fair Dick.
On back.
Yeah, no bet.
Fair Dick is for some reason it seems like Fairfield's going to slow this one down, actually.
This is that in-between number, man. 6.5, like.
I mean, obviously I don't have great conviction on this one. I kind of want to lay it with Fairfield just because they're the home team. And I do think some of Fair Dick's scoring has been inflated by a couple of bad teams that they've played. So I think Fairfield wins by 7.
Okay. I think you flip me. Give me Fairfield. I'll lay it. I don't know if I want to bet this one. This is stay away from me.
Yeah, I think I'm staying away from this too.
The golf course, Lafayette. No line. If anybody has a line out there, please put it in the chat. Sorry, trying to monitor the chat while I look at the numbers. Also trying to monitor BYU up 12. Come on, Houston. Elon laying 1.5 against Penn. Elon off a nice little win today. Penn off a nice win today. Dude, we should bet Elon. I think Elon's a much better team, and you're getting Penn off a rare win.
Yeah,
I love my guy Billy Taylor, man.
I want to take Elon here. It just seems like St. Joe's, Villanova, and Navy are not like at first you would have seen that and thought, they've played a little bit of a higher level competition. Maybe Pennsylvania has figured some things out, but none of those, between Villanova and Navy, they've been less than impressive. I think you get some pretty good. It's a pretty good spot for Elon.
I agree. I'm betting Elon. If you want to join, let's join.
Yeah, I'll lay it.
All right, double lock here, baby.
First time BYU too, so we should get a knee in a game.
Yo, baby. Phoenix will rise. Shout out to Larry. I helped him pay his ticket. Well, I could at least do that for you. Hopefully you tell my college basketball picks, not my college football picks. Because college football, not good. College basketball, great today. And, so, hey, Troy, Big 12 experience. Let's talk about it. Arizona State, Iowa State, championship game in Dallas. That's a great championship game. You got a lot of red and gold here. A lot of maroon and red. Maroon and gold.
I I just don't think you've seen a team when Sam Leavitt's been on the field for Arizona State. I don't think you've seen them play worse than who they've been matched up against. Arizona State seems like they've got the makings of a pretty solid college football team. You know, you've got a classic fucking bruiser white guy running back and a non-lawn chair quarterback that can kind of scramble around. You've got the first year momentum. Everybody's believing they're rushing the court or rushing the field. And I don't know. It just feels like Arizona State is trending in a really, really good position. And also, when we did the pregame or the preview on Arizona State, that was the one team that we pointed out to not bet to win the Big 12 championship at like 400 to 1. So that one's probably going to hit.
Iowa State's going to beat him. Iowa State's going to win. I love the Arizona State story, but I like Iowa State better. And it'll be a home game for Iowa State in Dallas. They're going to travel like crazy, Cyclone Nation.
I'm going to roll with the chimichanga guys from the desert. The Scata Burger and the Scata Burrito will not be stopped.
No doubt, no doubt. Eastern Kentucky, Troy. Troy is laying 6.5, and I think we should bet Eastern Kentucky. You keep disrespecting my Colonels.
And, you know, I've brought this up before. I have a very soft spot for Richmond, Kentucky. And I was kind of confused on this one. Some of the teams that Troy has played that have any kind of gumption to them, they haven't been able to score really at all. I mean, Arkansas and Oregon is a pretty big step up in class, but Eastern Kentucky kind of hung with Clemson. Eastern Kentucky hung with Ball State. I feel like we should bet the Colonels.
Actually, man, I may Benedict this. Eastern Kentucky's
live Benedict.
Eastern Kentucky is off of
3
games in a row this week. I actually think I may like Troy here to get bounced back after that Merrimack disappointing loss.
3-3. I don't know. The 6.5 is kind of scary.
I think the line's telling you. I'm going to complete Benedict here. Give me Troy, potential lock. The more and more I look at the rest disadvantage here. I mean, Louisiana Tech was in the same tournament as Eastern Kentucky earlier in the week.
I mean, I can always bet my namesake. That never scares me off.
All right, let's do it. Troy, we'll lay the points here.
Been on campus there a few times too, way back as a little kid.
We're on the Trojans, Trojan man. No line on Bethune-Cookman, Minnesota. Middle, UAB. UAB laying 7.5 here.
Taking the points is tempting here.
UAB, dude, it feels like a trap. It feels like UAB's going to drill them. I'll lay with UAB. Lock it up.
It's really tempting to take the points, but I'm not going to bet this one.
Man, they've underachieved. I think they get right here on Sunday.
I'm not going to bet this one, but it seems like the home aspect will have a little bit to do with it here. So I'll lay it for the sake of the show, but I'm going to stay away from this.
I think everybody's in love with Middle off of that Myrtle Beach tournament. I think they're a little overvalued. Give me UAB. Lock. North Alabama going to Wofford. North Alabama is a dog here. Wofford laying 3.5.
We should bet this.
I think we should bet North Alabama.
Yeah, I think we should bet this and take the points. And I think this is a money line play with North Alabama too.
I agree. North Alabama is also off of the Northwestern State loss, disappointing loss. Wofford, I think, is overrated. Brand name, fade. North Alabama live dog. 20-pool hole company. Let's go. Sacred Hearts going to Boston. Boston's laying 7. I kind of want to bet Boston.
Yeah, this is a Dartmouth tuck job. They both played Dartmouth already. I'll lay it.
I think I'll lay it too.
Nothing like a tuck job at 1:50 in the morning.
Yeah, get a little tuck action here. Lay it. No bet here. Cal Baptist, UCF. Dude, UCF's only laying 9.5.
The thing I have written down in my notebook is this is a scary fucking spot. I kind of want to play the Cal Baptist money line.
I think you're right, man. If you really look at the spot. I mean, UCF, they've been kind of skating by at home so far recently. They're off the 8-point win against Milwaukee. They didn't cover against Tennessee Tech. They didn't cover against FAU. Didn't cover against who was it? Fort Wayne. I like Baptist. Let's lock it. Let's fade UCF at home.
I'm gonna lock this for sure, but I'm gonna play this on the money line as well.
All right, there you go. Give me Cal Baptist. Give us both Cal Baptist. Next up, North Florida's going to Nebraska. Nebraska's laying 16. I feel like North Florida's fucking ran out of gas here. I'll lay it with Nebraska. No bet.
Yeah, I think Nebraska's defense at home is probably going to be a little more stifling than North Florida's ready for.
Yep.
Not super confident as well, but I would lay this if gun to head.
Missouri State going to Oral Roberts. Bob Roberts. Missouri State's laying 3.5 here. I think this is a good spot for Bob Roberts. Home dog. I like him here. Or Missouri State overachieved in that tournament. They played some hard games against higher competition. I think it's a little bit of a letdown. I'll lock up Bob Roberts as a home dog it up here. How about you, Troy?
Yeah, this one seems like it should be a pretty close game. And my initial lean on that is I just take the points. But the more and more I look at this one, I feel like it's probably worth a sprinkle too on the money line for the Golden Eagles.
I'm locking up Oral Roberts. It's fucking Missouri State shit out of here.
I think Missouri State is better, but it feels like a Golden Eagle spot.
Quinnipiac, Stonehill. Quinnipiac laying 4.5 at the Graveyard. Is this a fade of the Graveyard here?
Fade of the Graveyard, or is it a Graveyard bounce back?
Or does the Graveyard just
get embarrassed by Marquette?
Good? Are they not very good?
I don't think they're very good, but how good is Quinnipiac?
I think they're better than Stonehill. I kind of want to bet Quinnipiac here.
I always want to bet Quinnipiac, and I always have to have people on Twitter try to talk me off of it, and it never works. I'm going to bet Quinnipiac here. All
right, let's double lock it. Rare spot where I'm back in the Aqueduct here. Let's go.
The Aqueduct is...
Hofstra, Arkansas State, both teams off disappointing losses today. Arkansas State's laying 6.5. I'll lay it. I think this is a telling line. Fringe lock. Check the
Hofstra can't score with Arkansas State here. I'll lay it too.
All righty. South Carolina State, Xavier. Xavier's laying 25.5.
Slap it.
Give me the points. I'm not betting this game.
I was thinking about betting Xavier here. I'm going to lay it, but for the show, but I think I'm going to bet this. I think I'm going to lock up Xavier to cover.
In that other button. Troy Tuning locking up Xavier Musketeers. Texas State, Texas Southern. Texas State's only laying 5.5 on the road. This is a lock. Give me Texas Southern. Home dog, outright.
Going with the line telling you what's up here, huh?
And Texas State, if you look at the spot, they're off of the Myrtle Beach Invitational. Overachieved there. Went 2-1. Love Texas Southern here in a home dog spot. A rare home dog spot against a Division I team. Texas Southern wins outright.
Yeah, and they have some tough game experience with the Georgia Tech back-to-back in 2 days. They played on the road. New Mexico. They definitely know how to deal with defensive issues. Yeah, I'll take the points. I'll take the home team.
Lock it up. Texas Southern. Let's fucking go. Denver, Portland. Denver's laying 6.5. Noah Bieniek is saying you have to fade Denver when they are away from home. I think I agree with him here.
I definitely do.
I think we should lay it. I think we should lock Portland.
I think Portland's significantly better on the boards, and the 6.5 is not scary to me at all. I will lock this with you.
Let's go. Double lock here. I actually have been somewhat impressed by Portland. 2 games left. Indiana State, Tarleton. This game is in the Bahamas. This is both teams on a 3 games in 4 days, whatever. Both teams are off wins. I think we lay it with Indiana State against Tarleton. Tarleton with the rare win here. Give me Indiana State.
This 6.5 doesn't scare you from some of the other lines? You don't think this should be a little more inflated?
Indiana State's been beyond underwhelming, though.
Because I want to lay it for sure, but this is
I don't
the
think
one
it
that
reached. I don't think it reached like you think it
okay.
does.
This is the one that I looked at and was like, man, I feel like this should be a bigger number, but I don't mind only taking the 6.5. I feel pretty safe actually laying the 6.5, and will bet this with Indiana State, the old Sycamores.
You know, this is starting to get into a standalone window. I'll join you. Let's lay some chalk here late in the window. Indiana State puts it on Tarleton. Mercyhurst, final game of the slate going to San Fran. This game, so Mercyhurst is on they're on a back-to-back. Who made this schedule? They just won at Sac State today. San Fran, on the other hand, played Fordham, has a big-time rest advantage. Should we bet San Fran minus 28.5, Troy?
It feels like a Mercyhurst back-to-earth spot.
Oh, yeah, I think we should lay the big number.
I will lay the big number with the Dons.
Let's go. Hey, sometimes you got to lay these.
The fake hospital. This is the fake hospital.
Lay these big numbers. Like Clark's saying, you pay for a buy game, you get your money, get the fuck out. And prostitution. Take it, get out.
You can't go into the hospital through the back door. It's usually locked. Like that would still be like a really loud ambulance and it would tip you off. You can't just sneak in the back door of a hospital.
Amen, brother. All right, that does it for our slate. 31 games tomorrow. Check the picks page because there's a couple lines that are not out. College football experience going live here shortly if they not have already done so. Previewing and recapping this crazy day and previewing next weekend. Troy, what's your favorite 3 plays?
The one that I like the most is, I feel pretty good about 31.5 with Maryland.
Right off the bat, laying.
Believe it or not, I feel pretty good about that big number.
Laying the chalk. Mine's Texas Southern. That's my favorite one. Home dog it up. I think they're going to win the game outright. Trying to think what else I like.
I like Eastern Kentucky getting 6.5.
I like UAB.
I'm going to Benedict like you did. I said I was going to bet my namesake, but I just like Eastern Kentucky getting 6.5. You might have to flip that one if you wrote it down in the notebook.
It's all good.
We don't have the Benedict music right now. Just
yeah.
Pretend.
And then another one. So I like Texas Southern, UAB, and I also like UMass. Again, UMass came through from the other day. I think they're finally playing somebody inferior to them. I think they take it out of them and win by 30 against NJIT.
I also really like North Alabama.
Dog it up there. I like that.
Road dog.
Yeah, road dog. I like it. All right, guys. Well, that does it for our show. Thank you, Troy, aka the Big 12 Guru, for filling in here. Hey, we got done in 90 minutes here with only a 30-game slate. So efficiency here. Go check out the college football experience coming up next. Guys, programming note here. 15K is upon us. We are think we're at like 13.4, 13.5. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Do so ASAP. It's free. I repeat, it's free. It takes 3 seconds out of your day. We give you a preview and pick show. We give you a pregame show. We're going to give you more and more content. I got the Moneyline Mac Top 25 coming out tomorrow night as well. It takes 3 seconds out of your day. Please subscribe. We want to get to 15K. That is our milestone, or that is our goal that we've set out by January 1st. The only way to do so is you guys subscribing. Help us help you. I think the results speak for itself. I've had a pretty good week. Troy's had a pretty good week. Colby's had a pretty good week. Noah's had a pretty good week. So fucking throw us a bone. Get off your lazy ass and fucking hit that subscribe button. That's as nice as I can put it here, or I'm going to hunt you down and fucking stab you in the throat. I appreciate
you gotta say pretty proud with the 316 likes right now, but we could probably pump that up a little bit.
Yes. And I should say, I hate fucking doing this where, hey, make sure you subscribe, like, and all this fucking political correct bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But you got to do that so that we can take the show to the next level. If you want more and more content, the only way to do so is helping us by helping you. So please do so. Smash that like, smash that subscribe. Check out the College Football Experience. Check out the Main Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Go check out the Big 12 Experience coming up next, or Big 12 this week. We break down the Big 12 title game. We recap the college basketball slate as well. And I see the chat as well. Reminder, this is the only college basketball show that goes daily every single night, multiple times. So help us help you. Hit like, smash, whatever you got to do. Take your friend's phone, take whoever's phone, your mom's, your cousins, and smash that bitch. And let's get this thing to 15K. And then we'll start working towards 20K and 25K. But anyway, Troy, I appreciate you joining, man. I know you'll be on the pregame show this week. You, Trevor, CBB Nick, Cannabis Capper, and all the crew. Noah will be back tomorrow. I'm sure he'll be smiling ear to ear, happy and fat with a bunch of milk and cookies. With his,
he might still be drunk by the time he gets on tomorrow.
Absolutely, he should be. I would be if my team would ever do the right thing and hire Rich Rodriguez, and we could play in one of these big games one day. So appreciate you guys. November's in the books. It was a hell of a month. A lot of winning went on. Winning is great. This is the College Basketball Experience. He is at Troy Tuning. I'm at Moneyline_Mac. We are the College Basketball Experience. It's a long season, gentlemen and ladies. And we are out of here. Let's keep winning. I need to get some fucking rest. That's what I need to do. This feast week is my ass.
Yeah, we're only 2 hours away from 24 hours up, so.
Yeah.